Looking worse is actually the first step to looking better, which sounds insane, right? But that's exactly why I still looked skinny fat after 3 years of lifting. Nobody tells you that this is part of the process, and this is exactly why most guys stay stuck forever. If you don't understand why you have to look worse before you look better, you'll never escape the skinny fat trap. Now, if you click this video, you probably want to know 3 things. 1, what mistakes kept me skinny fat even after 3 years of lifting? 2, was it my training, my diet, or both? And 3, what should you do differently so you don't waste years like I did? I'm going to show you exactly why skinny fat is confusing, why most advice online makes it worse, and the one fix that finally got me out of the skinny fat trap. And just a quick side note, one of the biggest frustrations I faced when it come down to fixing skinny fat was how long it would take for me to get visible abs. And that's exactly why I've made a free times six-pack calculator, so you can grab yours for free down below. So stick with me through this, because if you're skinny fat right now, this could save you years of wasted effort, and this could make the difference between making no progress or finally building the body that you've been chasing. When I did my first bulk, I thought it'd be like getting Captain America's super soldier serum, which now that I say that out loud is actually ridiculous, and I can't believe I wrote that. But I basically just thought that I could lift weights, eat food, and then I'd be instantly jacked. But instead, I looked like I just spent 3 months at Nick Avocado's house. Same skinny arms, just fat everywhere else, and it felt like a failure, but it actually wasn't. Here's the truth that nobody tells you. Building muscle often makes you look worse before you can look better, and that's exactly why most skinny fat guys quit. The reality is, when you're skinny fat, you don't have enough muscle yet. So when you bulk, you don't suddenly look jacked, you just look a bit softer. And when you cut too early, you reveal there wasn't much muscle under there to begin with, so that's why the mirror lies to you, and why so many guys get stuck making no progress. For years, I thought that I was destined to stay skinny fat, like I had bad genetics, but the truth is that I wasn't stuck. I was just in the middle of building muscle. And a lot of you watching are probably in the same place. You think you're broken, but really, you're just in the part of the process where you don't look good yet. Looking fat wasn't the end of the story. It was actually the first step to breaking out of skinny fat. The real fix is knowing how to cycle this process the right way, and that's what we'll get into next. So if looking worse is actually part of the process, what's the real fix? The truth is that you can't stay lean year round and expect to escape skinny fat. You have to play the cycle. You want to think of this like seasons. You don't expect it to be summer all year round. There's a time to grow and a time to strip down. And it's exactly what it's like within fitness as well. That means phases of bulking to build muscle and times to cut so you can reveal the muscle that you've built underneath the fat. The problem is that most skinny fat guys try to live in a permanent summer, and they want to stay lean all the time, which means that they never build enough muscle to actually change what their physique looks like. The key is to rotate body fat between 12% and 18%. So you want to bulk in a slight surplus until you've built enough strength and muscle, and then cut down so you can lean out. And then you want to repeat that cycle, and over time you're going to break out of the skinny fat look. But if you try and skip the cycle and try and stay shredded, you stay stuck looking the exact same. So once you stop trying to stay lean all the time and actually commit to cycling properly, everything changes. But there's still one massive problem, and it's the kind that makes you feel like you're failing even when you're on the right track. And that's why we need to talk about it right now. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, they've all completely destroyed how we see progress. And I'll be honest, I'm guilty of this as well. Think about it. Every photo you see online is good lighting, a pump, the right angle, maybe even a filter, and that photo has been taken about 50 times to try and get the perfect one. But that's not just influencers, that's me as well. If you look at my thumbnails, I'm not choosing the one where I've just rolled out of bed after a day of eating 10,000 calories of Oreos. I'm picking a shot where I've done a massive gym session, got a huge pump, and then posing in like great downlighting so I look the best I possibly can. And then there's the stuff you don't see. Guys blasting PEDs and lying about it, influencers running their accounts like businesses where their job is to look perfect every single day, and you end up just comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, and of course you're going to feel like you're failing. The irony is that even if you're making really good progress, you don't see it yourself, and that's because your standard has been warped by what you see online. Once I realized this, I stopped judging myself by Instagram and actually judged myself by real world results. So strength gains, clothes fitting better, even compliments from people who don't actually care about fitness. That shift made everything click, and that leads us on to the most important part of the video, which is what should skinny fat guys actually do? When I finally figured this out, I'd realized I'd been treating the gym like a glorified beauty competition instead of a place to actually improve myself as a person. I cared way more about how I looked in the mirror than the actual weight that I was lifting in the gym, and that's why I stayed stuck. The day I reframed that focus was the day that everything changed. If you're skinny fat, here's what you should be focusing on. The daily inputs, such as eating in a slight surplus with enough protein so you don't dirty bulk. Focus on building strength progression in the gym, set goals and actually work to hit them. Don't cut too soon and stay in the cycle until you actually built a baseline of muscle. The key is Don't let your physique trick you into quitting halfway through the process. Because here's the thing, you're not actually stuck. You're not doomed to stay skinny fat. You don't have bad genetics. You're just in the middle of the process of building muscle. And in reality, it takes years before your physique even looks remarkably good. And the mistake is thinking that you're broke when really you're just not even close to finishing yet. If you take anything from this video, let it be this. Looking worse doesn't mean you're failing. It just means that you're building. The cycle I've outlined in this video is the only way out of skinny fat. So stop judging yourself against Instagram and start focusing on strength and consistency and give it time. Because if you don't quit, you won't stay skinny fat. You'll break out of it and finally build the physique that you're after. But the crazy thing is that if you don't fix this next part, then everything we just covered means nothing. So watch this video next, because I'm going to show you the missing piece that transforms all of this into real world results.